Honestly, I want to see how bad this freaking internet here is because I don't think it is actually good enough to stream at such a capacity. Now, let me actually see because I want to kind of see the stream health of this thing because if it doesn't last, oh well, I'm just giving it a shot. I'm on my MacBook, by the way, so giving you all a heads up. Like, I am literally just testing CRUD out. So obviously, like, let me check. Is my mic even? It's probably not even the same mic. It's probably like my in freaking mic. So let me try this. Here we go. I think this might actually be better off. So I think you'll probably hear it better because this is probably that was probably my the built-in mic that came in. It's not really going to be a paint stream. It won't really be a paint stream. Yeah, I think that already was. Yeah, I've been watching as you can tell for those that are looking at the wallpaper right now, I have been watching My Dress of Darling. Great anime. I really enjoy it actually. It's up there. So that's why I've been highly rating it. My phone, is it somewhere? I think I put my phone's like right nearby. I'm kind of feeling something today. I don't know really what. I kind of just want to do. My impulsive behavior is telling me to have a personality test right now because I don't know why. You're probably wondering why on earth shouldn't you be like paint? I haven't really had an ideas. I'm kind of burnt out. I feel kind of burnt out because there's times I do have an idea, but then it's just like it never really comes into fruition to where I truly can grasp it. Also, I also want to do other stuff. Like I'm too worn out by then, mentally speaking. Um, I'm doing well, Caleb. I did watch the 500 today, so before I know what happened. It was a great race. Objectively speaking, I like to. I think it's the thing I love when I'm watching NASCAR now. I used to be very biased. I feel with. I think well, obviously when we were young, we're pretty biased about like a lot of stuff. So obviously, I was a Gordon fan for a long time. So whenever how dare you mess with Jeff Gordon? He's like a god amongst men and all that shit. But here we are now. I'm when he retired, I didn't really choose a favorite. I would say Larson, but I really tried to avoid like the again the bias because journalism moment, and it's just fun to like look into the sport with a very open mind. It's just like I don't know how to really describe it. I think it's just you can get very analytical with it. You just enjoy the racing as it is. You try to avoid like all the stories of like all the drama. The drama is nice. It's like a cherry on top. You love fights and all that. But other than that, I mean, anything goes. Really. Let me actually move this over. So I wonder. Here we go. I am feeling a personalities test today. I'll retake the test. I don't want y'all to spoil me. Don't do that to me. It's just like freaking tearing me apart. Yeah. I hope the 500 was good for you, Dylan. I hope you had a good birthday week. I know Bowman didn't do well, so it's a shame. I know you wanted him to do good, but can't have everything go your way. Yeah. So again, I'm on my MacBook. First time I actually tried to stream this in like ages, so I might do more of these if my roommate isn't like here. I'll be honest with you. That's probably what I might do. They'll be really late night though. That's the issue. So, I mean, yeah. It's just I think it's very dependent because I love my roommate and all, but the only I guess complaint I really have for him, but he's just like because when he games, he plays Rocket League a lot. So, let's just say he's a very emotional person, very passionate person when he plays it. So, and this is from a guy that usually is very quiet. It's just a minor thing. I usually don't mind because I've been there, I've done that. I mean, whenever I've talked to a lot of you guys in like Discord and all that, I'm kind of loud. I wouldn't say loud, but I'm decently loud. Just to where my parents hear me talk about a lot. So I don't blame them. They were annoyed too. But hey, less noise to them since I'm out in Texas right now. So, all right, I'm gonna get to it. You regularly make new friends. It's very situational. I don't really know because like, ooh, there's like sometimes where I am in a good mood and I will talk to people, but there are other occasions to where I just rather not. I'm not antisocial by any means. It's just like a situational thing. But it's not something I'll do on the regular basis. I think it's just like something I do like once in a while. If it happens, it happens. Usually when it comes to making new friends. I don't know how far behind this stream is. I'm finally seeing what Dylan's saying. Whole weekend was awesome. I got to see the boys for my 21st birthday. I'm going to be there. I hope I'm there next year. I will say that. It's on my bucket list is to go to a 500. Whether it's Indy 500 or Daytona 500, I would definitely want to. I probably want to go to both, actually. It won't be this year, but I'd say depending on how drill weekends are, or whenever I'm scheduled to be at base and stuff, after tech school and training, I might try and go to a NASCAR race later this year. It really depends on how things go, because I definitely want to go to Daytona at some point. That's on my wish list. Or I have the money, so I mean, I just don't like spending it because I'm very frugal with it. Only time I spend money nowadays is like food. So, and obviously my credit card statement, but I mean, and soon car insurance. So it really isn't that bad. I don't spend a lot in general, so it helps out in my case here. You know, Daniel's gonna be there. Oh yeah, I hope. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. Let's see. Do I regularly make new friends? It depends. I'm really in the middle there. I don't really do it occasionally, but I do it. If it happens, it happens. I kind of go with the flow. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. I would say yes. I'm on that. I'm on that kind of binge. I do kind of like that. If it really does interest me, like some random thing, like show analysis, I really love that. I'm also been like wanting to look more into Blender, like recently. I haven't. I want to do this year too. Kind of my resolution is to make more render scenes for myself. I kind of want to learn how to make them myself using like Blender and all that. And another thing is that, so you know, I think a lot of you know what Trackmania is, right? So the that game, I always wanted to make some skins on there. That'd be really cool, like just some custom skins of that new Trackmania game. Really a lot of skins anywhere else, whether it be Minecraft or other stuff. I'm thinking about it, but it's kind of on my list. It's too big right now, but I'm scaling it down. So I'm really kind of doing a little bit of research on that. I definitely want to like do like a show analysis or episode analysis. It's kind of like how in school you had like the literary analysis kind of paper. I'm not saying I'm going to write an essay. If I did, it'd be like a video essay. That's different, you know. It's more of a passion project than like an actual like a thing. Now, painting, I still do like doing it. It's not as big now because of like how busy I've been. And it's funny because I'm streaming right now. I'm like, oh, you could be doing it right now, but I think I'm just right now. I'm kind of going with what my gut is saying. I'm still working with H&S schemes and all, but I'll figure it out. I usually don't have much to do from there. Yeah, concepts are hard. I think for me, when it comes to like concepts, I'm also kind of like, I've told you guys, I'm very impulsive with that. If I have an idea, I'm going to do it usually off the bat because I'm going to forget to do it. I will forget. It will be really bad if I forget. I'll kind of regret it too and be like, darn, I should have done this, but I didn't. So, seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Well, I don't cry that much, so no. I'm still in the middle actually with that one, but I like to say no, actually. Not like hard, strong no. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. I don't do that. I usually just have one backup plan. Usually if that doesn't work, I'm freaking screwed. Usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I look calm, but I don't stay calm. So I would hardly disagree with that. I highly disagree with that. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. This is actually very accurate. I'm one of those people. I'm pretty shy, actually, at first, but get to know me a bit more. I think I will talk a lot more. I usually keep quiet. It's like that IRL. I'm very much like that even in class and tech school. I'm very quiet. I don't really need to say much. I don't really prefer to say a lot of things either. So it's also another thing. For to completely finish one project before starting another, I agree with that actually. Very sentimental. I like to say yeah. I don't like bragging. I think I'm pretty sentimental. Like using organizing tools like schedules and lists. I have been recently. I would say I'm kind of there, but I do like using them, but I'm gonna say I'm smart. I agree a little bit on that. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. This is actually attacking me, so yes, I highly agree with this. That's me whenever I paint. That's me whenever I march. That's me whenever I'm learning stuff. I feel like I'm the dumbest individual on earth whenever it comes to schmuck like that. I think that's really attributed to, like, for me, like, my low self-esteem. I never really had good self-esteem. I've been working on it, and I feel it's gotten better, but there's always those, like, tangs of doubt that plague my conscience to where I am like, oh, I'm not good enough for this stuff, or why am I here, you know? Here I am, just in a dorm, just chilling, you know? My friend's out drinking. I think it's his birthday. I should have asked him, actually, but he bought a big heckin' speaker. Hope he doesn't freaking do that too often. But let's see. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. I'm in the middle with that. It really depends on my mood. I hate saying that phrase so much, but it's so true. Usually, if you have an icebreaker, it's not. It depends on how well you say it. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analysis. That is absolutely false. I love hearing other people's opinions of something that I really do care about. And creative works. They're awesome. They're art. You get invested in it. You're more inclined to follow your head than your heart. That is absolutely wrong. I am a guy that follows my gut. I always say stuff like, I feel, or something like that. I don't like to say I think. I do say that too, don't get me wrong, but I feel I'm more of a guy that follows my heart. I like to think I go follow my head, but I usually just go whatever I feel is the most satisfactory, really. Like, oh, I'm feeling like I want to paint a car, or I'm feeling to work out. I did that yesterday, actually. I did some workouts yesterday. I felt really good. I should have done some today, but I just wasn't feeling it, you know. I just wanted to stay in my dorm. It's my lazy day. Probably work out tomorrow morning. That's probably what I'm going to do, work on my chest again and all. Usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning it. Yeah, that's actually very true. I feel like if I do that though, it kind of ties in together, because I do feel like what I usually like to do what I feel like doing at that moment, but at the same time I am also planning what to do. It's kind of like you're improving in a way. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. I actually disagree. I'm very self-conscious about that. You enjoy participating in group activities. Situational. Very situational. You like movies and books that make you come up with your... This actually is very much me. I agree with this. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your... You know, I do. I love you guys. You know that? I really do. So, this is actually I feel inclined to say yes, because I really love seeing my friends do so well. You know, I love seeing them succeed because I feel they deserve it. You know, even if they don't think that, I just feel they deserve it because sometimes, I guess this is also like for me, it's just like my struggle with self love, but I never want people to go through the same things that I underwent that has led me to this very disheveled shell of myself. But for you guys and everybody else, you know, I just want you guys to be happy to succeed. Yes, maybe there'll be times I will critique people, but I think I'd like to think that I'm doing that just to help them out. I guess it's very egotistical of me to say that. Like, so right now, right, I do critique Lane a lot, Lane Sanders with his paints, because I do think he's getting there, but I feel the quality is inconsistent. But this also can be attributed to a time crunch situation, time crunch variable. But besides the point, it's just very inconsistent, whether it be like number placement, whether it be like design choice or logo placement, is what kind of, I guess, grinds my gears from time to time. That makes me feel like I don't it's like I don't trust him with the quality sometimes. Still love you, Lane, don't get me wrong, and that's one thing I've just kind of like learned. Hey, what's up, Unicrossed? It's been a while. Hope things have been going well. I heard, did you graduate UMKC yet? That's a real question. Oh man, I always love these kind of personality tests though. They're always so cool. It's funny, I was never really good at psychology, like school, but I always loved researching it like during my free time. I think it was just more engaging and more captivating to observe and listen to this kind of stuff, because it's just more in my free time than actually like feeling like I'm being forced to be graded on how I do on, let's say, like a test or something. I think psychology is very cool. I love philosophy as well. It's something I also kind of want to look more into, but here we go. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what you want to try next. Ooh, that's a hard one, actually. I don't know. This is actually really... So many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I don't really like to try a lot of things, though. I'm very dogmatic with trying new things sometimes. I hate trying things because I hate getting out of my comfort zone. It's just kind of like I've conditioned myself to try and avoid situations. Because usually whenever I have tried things, they've always never really went well. So, like, naturally, I steer away from it as a result. But whenever I am interested in a lot of things, though, it is very hard to, like, prioritize which ones you want to do first. So I will say I hard agree on that. Not hard agree, but I'm in the middle of hard agree, and I agree. Medium agree. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the... Okay, I don't even need to finish that. That's so true. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. I actually do. I don't like being a leader. I think it's funny because people say that I've read stuff like where introverts are... So, I guess my spoiler is that I'm apparently an INFP. This will probably be wrong tonight, but we'll see. But introvert, I think a lot of you can tell I'm very introverted, just by how I talk or like how I am as a person. Maybe based on mannerisms or a lot of things. But yeah, I don't like leading. I only lead whenever it is necessary, because usually, like, group projects in college were an absolute pain sometimes. It depended on the people you were with and depended on the topic itself. But usually with the college project, especially during the COVID times, with COVID, when, you know, it first struck and, you know, we were in a Zoom call and everything, the coordination, you had to communicate through, like, email or a Zoom conversation meeting or one of those group rooms, really. It really sucked. So, like, nobody really wanted to take initiative on the project, so I ended up having to do that a lot of the time, and I really despised doing it. But, I mean, A lot of people said I was really good at it. I don't really think so. I'm just like, let's think big picture. We gotta get this out of the way, you know? Get it done with. Let's get a solid grade. So, yeah. You're definitely not an artistic type of person. I don't know. I'd like to say I am. So, I'm gonna say I'm kind of disagreeing. I'm not good at traditional art, but digital design, I like to say I'm decent at it. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings? Ooh, this kind of is a... You do need rationale, though. You have to think logically. So I actually will say yes. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. I'm in the middle of that because I procrastinate a lot. But usually, like this, so the weekend's usually here when I'm in tech school. You know, it's basically I can just chill. I usually do my laundry like Saturday. I do everything Saturday because I get it all over with. You enjoy watching people? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not like watching people argue at all. I despise that, actually. It's one of my least favorite things. I hate seeing my friends argue. I hate seeing people argue. It makes me feel really bad if I see people argue. Even if I have nothing to do with it. I can just feel the bad vibes coming from it. It emanates, like the setting. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. Yes. I try to stay under the radar a lot. It's funny, because I like to be famous, but it's so ironic. It's so contradictory to me to say this, because you can call me a hypocrite here. I like to be famous, but I wouldn't want to be, like, known, I guess, like, in a physical manner. Like, I'd rather be known for, like, the voice. So that's kind of, I guess, why I like to be, like, a commentator. Yes, they'll have, like, shots of you and here and there, but typically people will just hear you behind the mic, you know, in the broadcast or something like that. And that's kind of what I'd like to be kind of known for. But your mood can change very quickly. No, it doesn't. It can, but I wouldn't say very quickly. It is a gradual process. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. I disagree. I'm very patient. I give people benefit of the doubt. I don't really like to cause arguments. I'm not a conflict kind of guy. You'd have to be, like, not trying. Like, you'd have to be obvious that you're not trying for that schmuck to happen. You'll end up doing things at the last possible moment. I'd say yes on that. I do that. I'll admit that. But everybody knows that. Only in our community knows I freaking slack off with that, but they know I get it done somehow. And even if I don't, most of them just know I'm busy. They're like, oh, yeah, it happens, you know. I don't like to abuse that, because I admit, I suck at, like, time management sometimes. I've gotten better with it, but sometimes you just don't have the energy. Even if you have the time, you just don't feel the energy at all. You've always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. You know, I've kind of thought about that a lot, actually. I've kind of thought about what would happen if you died. Now, would I go to heaven? If I'm religious, would I go to heaven? Would I just be a state of nothingness? Would I be in, like, an endless dream, you know? Any of you had, like, lucid dreams? So, like, when you're sleeping, right, you're unconscious, but in your mind, you know, you have a vision. But you actually literally, I wouldn't say literally, but you do experience the dream. Like, I think there was this one time so this dream I had was, I was at a carnival. Like, you know, you could feel the setting. It's very vibrant, it's warm, you know, with the color palette and everything. It felt like a summer day and summer evening, and it was just with some random girl. It was someone in high school. I didn't crush on her at all. It just was like the first woman that popped up in my brain. Very nice woman, very beautiful woman, but not like one that I would be attracted to, just more of like a platonic friendship, right? And we were just hanging out together, you know, going on a ride together, and it did look like kind of like a date, you know, kind of that trope, but it wasn't, you know. There was just something warm from my heart in that dream. Then next thing I know, I'm just sleeping. I'm just in bed with her, you know, just sleeping, cuddling together, and But no, it just like you kind of feel like you're living in a different world, like in a world of your own. But for me, it didn't feel like it was like too whimsical or outlandish. It felt very realistic. Maybe it felt more cinematic at times, but it definitely didn't feel like I was living in, let's say, Disney, like the Disney universe, right? So, yeah, lucid dreams are weird. Like, depending on what conjures up in your brain or whatever your conscience says, they can be very cool, though. I think they're really fascinating if you ever experience them. If not, it isn't a big deal. Usually prefer to be around others rather than your own. I don't know what that means. Usually prefer to be around others. Oh, just around other people. Okay, so I kind of disagree. I'm more of a loner. I'll admit that. I like talking to you guys though, but it's because I know you guys well enough. But would I say I like hanging out with people constantly? I'd rather kind of be by myself. I kind of keep to myself too, though. You get bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Absolutely not. I love conversations that are very deep and you kind of like can make theories out of it. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different than yours. I actually, oh, whoops, I didn't mean to press that twice, but I would say yes on that, the empathize one, because I think it's very cool. I like looking into like people's perspectives and what they go through, and I think that's how I connect with them, how I understand what they're going at. And if not, I just try to ask them like, what could you elaborate or explain to me, maybe dumb it down for me. So usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. It really depends on decisions, but I'd say yes, it's pretty up there. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. I disagree on that. I do that all the time. I was actually like second guessing, like, oh, should I really have done this? But here I am now, just kind of chilling, After a long and exhausting week, a lively social, absolutely not. No, I like hanging out with friends, but it's a very small knit of friends. Like Friday, I like going bowling with the boys, but after that, I just want to go just chill in my dorm, watch anime and binge on some Netflix show. I need to watch Arcane, actually. Arcane looks really good. People have been telling me Arcane's a very nice show. I did watch the Cuphead show yesterday. I binged through it yesterday. Finished the rest. I finished most of the first half yesterday, and then I finished the rest of it today. It's very good animation. Episodic, yes. Stories, the episodes I feel are kind of hit or miss, though. But that's for my opinion. They're not bad, not horrible episodes either. They're just kind of eh. That's just me. You enjoy going to... I love going to art museums, actually. Art's very cool. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. I highly disagree on that. I don't really need to say much there. You like to have a to-do list for each day. I'm in the middle there. You rarely feel insecure. If I said I agree, I would be lying to you, because I do feel insecure a lot. I'll admit that. You avoid making phone calls. Yes and no. I don't really do phone calls. But I don't avoid them either. If it happens, it happens. I'll answer the phone. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I would say yes, but I wouldn't say a lot of time. I wouldn't go full on literary analysis and dissect every word known to man in that speech or whatever that person's saying, but I will look into it. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends. I do not do that. Usually, someone else does it. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. I agree with this. I'm kind of like that. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. Oh yeah, I am. That shit haunts me. excuse my language. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. I disagree on that. I always love finding meaning. There's always a purpose in us, I feel. I always question, I guess, meaning and purpose. It's just like a lot that goes on. Like, I'd like to like live a life that just has meaning in it. If there isn't a meaning in life, I feel there's no point in like just kind of living. You're just kind of a robot there, like an NPC, emotionless. I think that's the hard part, because there's some realities in where you just have to like, you can't always find that purpose. Like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You just have to like kind of go with whatever. Your emotions control you more, you can control them. Yeah, I think that hit me on a spiritual level. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. Ooh. I think, yeah, I'm kind of like that. I give benefit of the doubt, but it's not something I will put that in the middle, actually. I'm in the middle on that one. I can roast someone, but at the same time, not everyone's like a bad person. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous. Yes. I don't need to go further than that. I don't need to go diving into that one that much. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take for them to feel disappointed in you. Oh, yeah. Highly agree on that. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. I need communications, but I will say, yeah, I don't mind. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. I disagree with that. I love philosophy. Philosophy's very cool. There's this one channel on YouTube that I really love. It's called Sisyphus 55. He's got really cool stuff. He's not a philosopher himself, but he does dig into research into topics of like philosophy, like Kantian logic and nihilism, existentialism, even like philosophies of individuals. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. I do not like the busy, bustling atmosphere sometimes. I wouldn't say I hardly disagree, though. I'm in the middle on that one. Like, middle disagree. It's just something I prefer is these quiet, intimate places. So like a tea shop or something. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. People are very good at hiding emotions, so I'm going to say I'm in the middle there. I can tell sometimes, but not always. You often feel overwhelmed, almost all the time. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. I'm in the middle on that one. Depends. You're intrigued by things labeled as controversial. I avoid controversy, but I don't mind hot takes here and there. I do get curious about that. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. I do think that would be something I would do. I struggle with, oh yeah, FPL moment it would be, yeah. You feel confident things will work out for you. No, I don't think that. Gender? I'm a male. What are my results? I'm still an INFP. Alright, so it doesn't even matter. I am an INFP. So let's see. 78% introverted. That's when you know. Hit the hot spot. Intuitive, feeling, prospecting. I think when I took the Myers-Briggs test a while back, it was, what was the right word? Perseveration or something like that. Perception. Here we go. I couldn't think of the right word. It's perception. And then let's see. I'm more turbulent than assertive. Yeah, I think that's kind of obvious. I think a lot of people know that. Read my profile. Oh yeah, I don't want to copy my results. Absolutely not. Although they might be quiet or unassuming, mediators have vibrant, passionate inner lives. Now, I'm not going to say I'm automatically going to associate all this stuff with an INFP, but I think a lot of it kind of resonates with me. Creative and imaginative, they happily lose themselves in daydreams, inventing all sorts of stories and conversations in their minds. Yeah, I mean, my inner conscience is like me as a cartoon, just doing the exact same thing, but just as like a cartoon. It's weird. Or it's just like a typography of words that are like in my brain right now. But typically, I think my mind is like thinking of just me as like an OC character, some weird jazz like that. Now, if I'm like talking to people, I don't really think that. It's just more like I try to actually listen and hone in on what they're saying. Idealistic and empathetic. Actually, let's see. Personalities are known for their sensitivity. Mediators can have profound emotional responses to music, art, nature, and people around them. I love dancing and music. I love a lot of the artwork people make, whether it's fandoms or even like digital design, nature. Yeah, I love animals, so I don't have pets. Yeah. Music's very passionate. Love dancing to it. Idealistic and empathetic, mediators have longed for deep, soulful relationships, and they feel called to help others. But it's because this personality type makes up such a small portion of the population, mediators sometimes feel lonely or invisible, adrift in a world that doesn't seem to appreciate the traits that make them unique. So basically, feeling understood. Not gonna read that. I was just gonna say all that glitters is gold, but that's not how it works. Mediators share a sincere curiosity about the depths of human nature. Introspective to the core, they're exquisitely attuned to their own thoughts and feelings, but they yearn to understand the people around them as well. Mediators are compassionate, non-judgmental, always willing to hear another person's story. Probably me. That's probably how people... I think that's what a lot of people have told me. They think I'm really nice, I guess. I hate thinking that I'm nice. I'm probably not. I don't think I'm a nice person. When someone opens up to them or turns to them for comfort, they feel honored to listen and be of help. Yeah, I really do like it when people actually talk to me about their issues because I like to help them out for it. Mediators in an ideal relationship, any kind, is one in which both people feel comfortable sharing not just their wildest hopes and dreams, but also their secret fears and vulnerabilities. Empathy is among this personality type's greatest gifts, but at times it can be a liability. The troubles of the world weigh heavily on the mediator's shoulders, and these personalities can be vulnerable to internalizing other people's moods or mindsets. Unless they learn to set boundaries, mediators may feel overwhelmed by just how many wrongs there are that need to be set right. Ugh, yeah. It does trouble me sometimes, but I wouldn't say it bothers me too much. I just kind of focus on my own thing. Speaking their truth. Few things make mediators more uneasy than pretending to someone they aren't. With their sensitivity and their commitment to authenticity. This is a big thing for me. I think it's something I've stressed out a lot, is authenticity. I hate facades a lot of the time. I don't like... Now, acting is different, obviously, but like people that are superficial is something I really despise. Could this be something I'm very hypocritical at? Maybe. I mean, everybody's hypocritical at some portion of their life. We all kind of contradict our own statements or our own claims. But I still love that authenticity. If there's anything that's genuine about it, about you as a person, then naturally I will gravitate towards you. But now when I notice sometimes I might not see it immediately off the bat, but I think with some people you kind of see it through their actions later down the line. You begin to understand the true colors of that person. Some are better at picking it up than others. I don't know how good I am at that. I don't think so. But let's see. People with this personality type tend to create opportunities for creative self-expression. Comes as no surprise, then, that many famous meteors are poets, writers, actors, and artists. Yeah, very much a lot into the theater art, theatrics and literature. They can't help but muse about the meaning and purpose of life, dreaming up all sorts of stories, ideas, and possibilities along the way. Yep, fan fiction writers are like that too. Meteors have a talent for self-expression. They may reveal their innermost thoughts, secrets through metaphors and fictional characters. Yeah, that is actually this is actually attacking me. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that, actually, because that's something I probably would do. Why else do I have a Nick Wilde profile picture 99% of the time? Because I feel like I'm him. There's something about him that I can connect to. Through these imaginative landscapes, meteors can explore their own inner nature as well as their place in the world. While this is a beautiful trait, these personalities sometimes show a tendency to daydream and fantasize rather than take action. A lot of what ifs, really. It's more like, oh, what? This is what I could do, but then you don't do it because you just don't, You don't really think about it, but it's really just one of those things. You're like, well, yeah. It's just more in your head, but you never actually execute. It's like you talk the talk, but you don't really walk the walk kind of statement. It's all just kind of unfinished potential. To avoid feeling frustrated, unfulfilled, or incapable, mediators need to make sure that they take steps to turn their dreams and ideas into reality. People with this personality type tend to feel directionless or stuck until they connect with a sense of purpose for their lives. This is the conundrum. This is kind of the break nine, too. For many mediators, this purpose has something to do with their uplifting others and their ability to feel other people's suffering as if it were their own. Yep, very true. While mediators want to help everyone, they need to focus their energy and efforts otherwise. They can end up exhausted. Fortunately, like flowers in the spring, meteors' creativity and idealism can bloom even after the darkest of seasons. Although they know the world will never be perfect, meteors still care about making it better however they can. This quiet belief in doing the right thing may explain why these personalities so often inspire compassion, kindness, and beauty wherever they go. Oh, I don't know if I exude that. Let's see. Oh, Tolkien, Shakespeare, York. I can't say it right. I can't freaking say it right. Alicia Keys, Tom Hiddleston, Loki, Julia Roberts. Never would have thought Tom Hiddleston would have been 9 FP, but fair enough. See, my strength and weakness, see how weak I am. Empathetic. Don't care about people in an abstract sense. These personalities actually feel each other's person's emotions, from joy and elation to sorrow and regret. Meteors tend to be thoughtful and kind-hearted, and they hate the idea of hurting anyone, even unintentionally. Meteors, so you end up being a people pleaser. It's one of the hard parts. Meteors rarely enjoy succeeding at other people's expense. They feel called to share the good things in their lives, give credit where it's due, and uplift the people around them. These personalities want to contribute to a world where every voice is heard and no one's needs go unmet. But unfortunately, that's such an elusive goal to where you can't achieve that. I'm literally playing devil's advocate right now. Tolerant and accepting, meteors try not to judge anyone else's beliefs, ideas, lifestyles, or decisions. This is a personality type that prefers compassion to fault finding, and many meteors feel empathy even for those who have done wrong. Because they're so accepting, mediators often become confidants for their friends and loved ones, and occasionally for total strangers. Creative. Really hit or miss for me in this one. Love to see things from unconventional perspectives. Few things give them more pleasure than allow their minds to wander through all sorts of ideas and possibilities and daydreams. It's no wonder then that many meteors are drawn to creative pursuits, or that this personality type is well represented amongst writers and artists. Passionate, I don't know. That's so cap for me right now. Meteors want to give their whole heart to it. People with this personality type may not be all outspoken all the time. This doesn't diminish their strong feelings for a cause that speaks to their beliefs and convictions. I love saying the word beliefs a lot. That's a really big word for me. Principles are another one. Idealistic. Meteors strive to follow their conscience, even when doing the right thing isn't easy or convenient. They rarely lose sight of their desire to live a meaningful, purpose-filled life, one that helps others and leaves the world a better place. Weaknesses. Unrealistic. Nothing in this world is perfect, and that can be a difficult truth for meteors to accept. People with this personality type can be hopeless romantics. They are attacking me. Because that is literally me. I struggle with this because I always feel there's this Hollywood-esque person. I'm not saying my standards are high for that, but sometimes I just wish I had like a happily ever after ending, because I look around, right, and it always seems like everybody is in some kind of relationship, like with a significant other or somebody. It always feels like I'm left out. Am I jealous? Yes, of course I am. If I said no, I'm an absolute liar, and you would all see through that. I just hate sometimes feeling single. It is nice being single, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, there's always some kind of itch that you want something warm. You want intimacy. I'm a very touchy-feely kind of guy, I feel. I don't know. I haven't really experienced it to really fully give you that statement, actually. But I don't know. I think it's just like I haven't really had good experiences to really, or had enough experience to really go that far. I think I'm just so awkward, and it just doesn't really, I guess I'm just more disappointed, kind of. That hopeless romantic statement really is pretty accurate for me. I love wishing I had someone that I could cuddle with, or just have a good conversation with, something that's very insightful to me. Self-isolating. Meteors long connecting with others, but they don't always know how. Yep, that's very true. Meteors may be reluctant to put themselves out there in ways that would help them make new friends or become involved in a new community. As all people with this personality type may sometimes feel lonely or isolated. This is very much true. I think that very much explained it pretty well. Unfocused. Yeah, I'm all over the place in this one. Many meteors get frustrated by how difficult they find to buckle down and get things done. It isn't that they are incapable, rather they run into problems where they become so caught up in their different ideas and ideals that they fail to commit to a course of action. A COA. Huh, funny. Emotionally vulnerable. The emotional attunement of these personalities is among their greatest strengths. But unless meteors establish boundaries, they can be at risk of absorbing other people's negative moods or attitudes. Yeah. Desperate to please. People pleasers, yes. That does drain my energy sometimes. Self-critical. I'm like this all the time. I'm always self-critical of myself. Being useless or selfish or woefully inadequate. Feeling self-critical right now. I kind of don't. Romantic relationships. Do I want to read this? I'll do it anyway. Why else? Well, I got nothing else to do. I'm literally killing time. I'm literally speaking my mind right now. I do appreciate those that are giving me likes. I know, again, this isn't really a paint stream. I just wanted to just have a chat tonight. And this is coming from a guy that's apparently very introverted. So, again, just thank you all. Even if you aren't chatting right now, just listening in, I really do appreciate it. You guys mean a lot to me. Even if it sounds very superficial, I just appreciate the company. It's very quiet company, but it's good company for me. Because I don't feel like a weirdo talking to myself. Let me see, there's my GIMP right there. Meteors, INFPs are dreamers and idealists, especially when it comes to romance. Yep, you are very much correct. I have an idea of who I want to be with, and You know, I think the hard part for me sometimes as a romantic is that I don't feel like I deserve the love people give me, platonically speaking, and whether like people will ever find me attractive. You know, people say that a lot of people claim that my personality is very good. You know, they're like, oh, you know, you're. I feel like everybody says that though. Like, it's always the same shtick. I like saying. I just noticed I love saying words with the SCH sound or SH sound, but like, it's always the same kind of phrase that everybody repeats over and over. It's very repetitive. You can only say that for so long, but at the end of the day, you look in the other people's perspective. Like, what else am I supposed to say? That you suck. Yeah, you look bad. You know. Yeah, I know. Just people that listen. I don't really mind. Like, that's just how some people are. Rather people listen in. You know, if it's relaxing to you, you know, that's good. You know, I appreciate. I don't mind. You know. I get this. That's still another compliment I get a lot. That's really what people like how I think people gravitate towards it because of how calm I am or how reserved I am. Let's see. Especially when it comes to romance, people with this personality type believe in power and beauty of true love, and they sincerely hope never to settle for anything less. I think it's like the simple things in life are what will amuse INFPs. For me, it's kind of like that, I guess. It's fair to say that mediators approach the world of romance with high expectations. They spent years daydreaming about the perfect relationship, imagining how it feels to share their innermost selves with another person. But the reality of dating can come as something of a shock to mediators, forcing them to grapple with the challenging question: if they want to be in a relationship, will they have to compromise on their ideals? That is a very good question. It's a very valid question, actually. Mediators don't just want to find a partner. They want to connect with a soulmate. Thoughtful and open-minded, these personalities are generally willing to consider going out with all sorts of people. They pride themselves in their ability to look past the potential part of superficial traits such as appearance, social status, or positions and focus on deep, more meaningful signals of compatibility. Well, joke's on you. I don't go out with people. On dates, that is. The last time I've been on a date was like, I don't really know if this would count as a date though. It's like freshman year of college. And I've told you guys this story plenty of times, but I'll say it again, you know. Oh, like, at least I'll paraphrase it a bit. You know, I got to know this girl. She and I exchanged contact information. We talked more and more in class. Start kind of getting to some phases to where it's like she said some things that were kind of like flirty, and that's how I interpreted it at the time. So, you know, I asked people for advice. They gave me advice saying, oh, she's into you, you know. Why don't you go ask her, you know, why don't you go take some action, take some initiative? And I did, you know, and that clicked off pretty well. But then, I mean, had my first kiss with her when I drove her back to her dorm. There's another time before that I'd taken her back, but we just had like some eggs and Nutella. It wasn't really anything too special. It's nice. I had food, so if there's anything good out of that, silver lining. But I had my first kiss with her. My virgin lips were lost that night. Then after that, it didn't really go. It just didn't go further than that. She was just like, oh, I'm taking a break from my ex, by the way. Okay. I cried. I cried in my bed the next day after that. Her ex texted me back. And yeah, that's the story. Oh, you're probably like, oh, it's such a minuscule thing that happened to you. Oh, why? I guess it's kind of made me jaded. Not really. I don't hate women. Why would I say that? Nobody would say that. The audacity if you actually said that, like, unironically. I can't antagonize that because it's just because not all women are like that. You can't. It's very. I sound like an incel saying that. I don't like that. But there are just some people that are just like that though. Like, communication's really the big thing that people need to work on better. At the end of the day, but it's just how it is sometimes. But yeah, I hadn't really tried dating ever since then. I always felt like I wasn't like mentally prepared for it, and I think the really big question for me is like, will I ever be ready? Because I always feel like I have something to do that makes me not prioritize dating or like any kind of like romantic relationship seeking. And whenever I have, it feels very temporary. Like it only feels like it lasts like a small bout, you know. Otherwise I'm just along for the ride, I guess. I wouldn't really, if it happens, it happens, but I'm willing to wait. But I just don't really know, honestly. I'm willing to wait, but how long can I wait? I guess my patience factor can only go for so long. But yeah, I like genuity. I love people that are authentic, that are well-intentioned people. I don't like those that fake it too much. But it would be a mistake to think that mediators don't have preconceived standards for a significant other. With their active minds and imagination, people with this personality tend to develop and carry with them a vision of their ideal partner, a vision that based on a favorite fictional character. Oh God, a person they once knew, or simply the stories they tell themselves about how love should look. This is... Yep. Yeah. I wouldn't say like a fictional character though. I haven't like dove into that kind of like realm, but definitely like on my idea of love, what it looks like, is very much true. Like what I think it should look like. Obviously, I know it's not like all kissing and all that. I'm smart enough to know that, but still, like, it's just being compatible, and you obviously are physically attracted to them, but also attracted to them based on how they are as a person. I think that's why I like Kitagawa a lot, or Marin, because, yeah, she's very good looking. Don't get me wrong, she's very nice looking. But a lot of anime chicks are like that too. A lot of the chicks that are waifu material are like that too. But what draws me with her in this case is her personality. I'm just making an example here because my Dress Up Darling is pretty heckin' good. Yes, there's the fan service, of course, but because it's a cosplay girl. Yes, but her personality, you know, she's not afraid of like expressing how she is as a person. She isn't afraid to express what she likes, what she dislikes, you know. She's very blunt as a person. And very extroverted too. She's actually very, very extroverted when I think about it. Definitely has like that extrovert energy in contrast to Gojo. To Gojo's energy. Not not Jujutsu Kaisen Gojo, but you get what I'm going at. The Hina doll dude. Yeah, I think she's just, her personality draws me in a lot, like, because she's really compassionate, like, for him, very concerned about him, and just, she even just acknowledges she's just a very nice woman, very nice girl. I like her personality a lot, very vibrant, but she's straightforward. She isn't really afraid to speak her mind. Very blunt person. just a compassionate person, just is always concerned for one person, like for Gojo. I think it's super attractive, actually, to have compassion. Like, honestly, when I see stuff like that, it kind of makes my heart flutter a lot. I'll admit that. That's kind of like my preconceived notion of love, is like someone that is very charitable, chivalrous, and also just isn't afraid to speak what they think. There's a high amount of confidence that Marin has. I need to write a character analysis on her, because I really think she is that good of a character, that fun, but also just a great anime character, just waifu material, up there S tier, honestly. She is like a top waifu prospect. Like I said, it's the personality. I'm not even capping to you. It's just, I just think she's super cool. She's super cool, super attractive, because of the way she cares about Gojo. The way she wants to make him happy. Just, she cares. Doesn't care about status. Doesn't care if he's unpopular or not, or if he's anxious and all that. Just cares about his well-being. Just wants him to do well. She's popular, yes, but she doesn't fit the trope of being an absolute dickhead. She's actually someone different and unique to an anime universe, I feel. At least based on the anime I've watched. That's why she's up there for me. Okay, I need to get back on track. I'm going to go on a tangent at the rate I'm going. Make an effort with time. True love doesn't magically happen. Takes compromise. Yes, I already know this. This is how it works. No partner is perfect. They fall in love. Meteors reveal how much passion thrums beneath their quiet exteriors. I've never been in a relationship, so I wouldn't really know. But I feel that would be me. I would just give them so much love. They nevertheless respect their partner's independence, aiming to accept the parts that they are. Also want to help the partners learn, grow, and pursue their goals. That's something I want to do. So, meteors are always dreaming up ways to improve themselves and the world around them. Last thing they want is for their partners to feel unhappy or stuck. Yep, I agree with that. Many people with this personality typically dedicate themselves to helping their partners improve their lives. While this is a noble goal, meteors must be sure to keep track of their own needs and make sure their partners are really ready for change. Provided they do so, meteors' support and devotion can make all the difference in their partners' lives. Yeah, I think it's as formulaic as you can get there. Mediators tend to promote harmony over disagreement. Although this lends stability to their relationships, it can also lead to problems. To avoid triggering a conflict, mediators may avoid talking openly about things that are bothering them. Instead, they might mentally fixate on the problem or try to solve it on their own. I am very stubborn with this stuff too. I love solving things on my own. I rarely like to ask for help unless I feel it is necessary. They may also focus on making their partner happy. Yeah, that's what I would care about too. People with this personality may remind that open, honest communication is necessary, even if it isn't always easy. Such manners of candor can transform a relationship for the better. As long as they communicate openly, mediators are more than capable of staying true to themselves in a relationship and encouraging the person they care about to do the same. By bringing their whole hearts and minds to their relationships, mediators can find out what it truly means to be loved and to love. Friendships. Ooh, this will be spicy, I guess. INFPs may find themselves caught in a web of contradictions. People with this personality type typically crave alone time, but they're also vulnerable. This is very true. They long to be accepted and well liked, but they hate the idea of pretending to be anyone but their authentic selves. I like this. This is actually a very true statement. While they hesitate to draw attention to themselves, they don't want to be invisible either. This is such a weird dynamic of wanting to be alone, but also not wanting to be invisible. You just kind of want that equilibrium when you're in the friendship. The good news is that in the company of true friends, mediators can escape the hamster wheel of these insecurities and focus on what really matters. For those personalities, friendship is a precious commodity, an opportunity for two people to lift each other up and change each other's lives for the better. Mediators truly believe in an old saying that a friend in need is a friend indeed. Yeah, I would say so too. Few things bolster their sense of purpose like being there for someone they care about. Oh, I love being there for people. I really do. Like, I don't like seeing people feel down on themselves, or I just want them to be happy. Male or female. Perhaps because their intense investment in these relationships, mediators tend to be more fulfilled by spending time with a small. This is very true. This is what I mentioned earlier with my group of friends. It's a very small group. I don't like big groups. I get overwhelmed by that, actually. Let me move my freaking desk a little bit more here. Searching for a kindred spirit. If it's easy to make friends, because superficial, casual relationships can leave these personalities feeling. I don't really care this one as much as I hate superficiality, because I just make friends and sometimes they just come and go, and it's just kind of part of life. I wouldn't say I have an issue with socializing. I kind of do sometimes, but in terms of just talking with people, it kind of happens, you know. But I love people that do think and feel deeply. So really, with some people, whenever I actually do engage in a conversation with them, something that feels very in-depth to me, I usually respect them and would like to be their friend. I'm not judgmental, typically, but it does gauge a scale on like how well that friendship could last. Are capable of befriending all sorts of people. The combination of their intuitive and prospecting personality traits draws them to diverse perspectives, which helps them appreciate friends whose experiences and worldviews are totally different from their own. Mediators actually find it invigorating to connect with someone who on the surface has little in common with them. That's actually kind of true. I mean, I've met some really cool people in just like a simple combo that's like very in-depth, very like not philosophical per se, but more just natural and organic. It really does help a lot. A true friendship is founded on shared values, not just shared experiences. People with this personality type are likely to form strong relationships simply out of convenience. For example, while their affection for their coworkers may be strong, just working in the same office or shop is enough for mediators to guarantee a substantial friendship. Deeper connections must come into play. This is fundamental. Just because I talked to you in school does not mean I think you are a friend of mine. I might think you as merely a peer. Does that sound elitist to me to say that? Yes, but it is not something that I feel that a friendship, you can be a friend of mine, but it wouldn't be someone I would hang out with after class. That would be the right way of saying it. I said it really, really badly that earlier, so my apologies there. But that's just how I feel about it. People that I like hanging with after, understand me a bit more, or just can just deal with me, I guess, sometimes. Friends are life. When mediators befriend someone, they may secretly hope to stay close to that person in life, or not so secretly. These personalities capable of strong, stable relationships marked by passionate support, subtle-poetic wit. Oh, I love seeing that word, poetic. Stable relationships marked by passionate support, and a profound level of emotional insight, Almost repeated myself. Long-standing friendships tend to draw out less obvious aspects of the mediator personality type, including a fierce protective streak. Many mediators find that they can stand up for their friends in ways that they'd struggle to manage for themselves. Although mediators value their friendships, they also need personal space and time in order to recharge. At times, people with this personality type may withdraw from even their closest friends in order to reconnect with themselves and restore their energy, as all introverts must. Yes, I have a battery. I need to recharge it. These departures are usually temporary, but meteors may need to take some time to make sure that their friends do not feel snubbed by their absence. Meteors look for a way to improve their friendships and share their affection with those who matter to them. Often this takes the form of spending quality time with their friends, coming up with grand visions of the future, and sharing their secret dreams and ideas with someone they know they can trust. Leo and mediators are entirely on their own. I'm starting to get a bit tired too. They always hold their friends in their hearts. This might be the actually only thing I might talk about here tonight. This is my personality type. I hate saying that about myself, but that just might be the way tonight. I actually like reading this kind of stuff. It takes me a while. Usually I read faster than this, but since I'm talking out loud, it's something I'm just doing. It's a short stream, I guess. For mediators, life is a journey, but even as they find their own way through the world, these personalities feel called to help other people embark on their own journeys through meaning, fulfillment, and happiness. I don't think I'd be a good parent. I think I'd be way too emotional. It's like pathos on steroids. You know, ethos, logos, and pathos. Pathos would be like up there in that realm for me. It'd probably be on freaking roids right now. All those emotions, I tell you. To start, meteor parents aim to be warm, caring, and open-minded. People with this personality type... Oh, excuse me. Sorry for the thump there. Delight in their children's wide-eyed wonder at the world. And always want to give their children freedom. Freedom to form their own opinions, discover their own interests, and grow into their unique selves. Meteor parents counterbalance these freedoms by creating a stable foundation of support and acceptance in order that their children never forget just how much they are loved. Yes, very much so. Mediators may enjoy raising free spirits, but that doesn't mean they are totally hands off. They want to teach key values to their children, including honesty, compassion, and importance of caring for others. Yes, this is how I want to treat my child. I don't want him to get bullied, because I got bullied a lot in elementary and middle school. It was not a good experience. They also want to understand the meaning of personal responsibility, even when it comes to not hurting others. Medium parents face challenges, take parenting responsibility seriously, so it feels like a personal failing the children misbehave. These persons may be emotionally, especially upset, and see the children behaving in ways that don't seem considerate or ethical. This is true. It might be because social complaints that they don't establish proper consequences to their children's actions. Basically, you're just like self-critiquing yourself to death as a parent. They try to show the children the best side of themselves, giving their problems, negative emotions, and frustrations at a rest. They can preserve a sense of harmony in the household, helping their children feel safe and cared for. By the same token, they often try to shield their children from the greater problems of the world. This is appropriate when their children are young, but eventually, mediators need to find ways to talk through tougher issues with their kids. Yet you can't shelter them for too long. Practical day-to-day structures and rules for the children. Mediators can use their creative energy to impose boundaries without stifling the children's curiosity and enthusiasm. Parents have a remarkable ability to put themselves in other people's shoes, and this enables them to come up with schedules and rules that truly work for their children's individual needs. This also is very true. At least if I'm ever a parent. That will probably be me. I'll probably find some way to make it somewhat compelling so that people can enjoy themselves. So do I expect much? No, not really. I really don't. I just chill. So when they balance structure with spontaneity, mediators can help their children grow into their most caring, responsible, and joyful selves. And that is exactly what these parents strive for. Career paths. What would I want to be? Could I be? These personalities may drift in frustration, waiting for the perfect job to present itself. Eventually feeling stuck or worried that they're not living up to their potential. No such thing as a perfect job, correct? I write novels, freelance niche, and find themselves doing communications in a corporate field or for a non-profit organization. This is actually very true. Communications in somewhere that I kind of like it. Although this person type isn't known for seeking the spotlight, other mediators find their life purpose in the performing arts. They draw in from their inner depths while exquisite interpretations of the creator's work. They also create their own works as playwrights, composers, or choreographers. They want to feel that their work is helping others. Not surprising that many people with this personality type choose careers that are focused on service, such as counseling, psychology, teaching, healthcare, social work, massage therapy, or physical rehabilitation. I've actually thought about being a psychologist or a therapist at some point. It sounds counselor. I think it's just something I would like to do, maybe. Finding their way, they're adaptable, but they find it demotivating working in high-stressed, bureaucratic, or hectic environments. Frustrated by workplaces that are highly critical or competitive, workplaces that reward independence tend to be a good fit for them. They appreciate some structure and oversight to help them avoid procrastinating and getting lost in thought. They don't need ideal conditions to thrive professionally, to values and careers as much as in any other aspect of their lives. They can put up with and overcome any number of challenges they pursue as a sense of mission in their work. Let's see here. The workplace habits. Yeah, sense of purpose sounds about right. Cultivate emotional, moral connection to what they do. Definitely like a sense of purpose. Really just ties back in there. That would be service colors. How media respond to authority. Let's see. As employees, they tend to be loyal, upbeat, and considerate. Take pride in being honest and doing the right things in all circumstances. People with this personality type also feel gratified by pleasing others, bosses to their customers. Mostly feel motivated when they're thinking up ways to help others, not worrying about checklists or bottom lines. Thinking of exquisite ideas. So that's why praise, positive feedback can make them light up. Criticism can lead to personalities shut down. Yep, that's true. Faced with punishing expectations or a highly negative boss, may find it hard to get things done. Add the distraction of a constantly ringing phone or overflowing inbox, and you have a recipe for a seriously stressed out mediator. They enjoy having freedom and latitude. Their creativity and insight enable them to shake old and effective ways of doing things as long as they're given the chance to speak up and make changes. That said, they tend to benefit from deadlines and clear expectations to keep them on track. Otherwise, people with this personality type might get caught up in procrastination, bouncing one idea to another, rather than settling down and crossing tasks off their to-do list. Meteors value equality and fairness, so it's no surprise they feel stifled by workplace hierarchies. They prefer professional environments where everyone feels valued and is encouraged to share their ideas no matter their job title. As colleagues, meteors do what they can to make this idea a reality. Let's see, in their quiet way, they can become the glue that holds their workplace together. I got that a lot from my friend group in college, actually, so... at least one of my friend groups. When I was pre-farm, dropped out, to change to a different major, they're like, our group friend kind of fell apart because you kind of were the glue. I'm like, it's kind of quiet a lot of the time. Didn't really say much. Although the voice might not be the loudest, they are often admired for their insight, with coworkers routinely coming to them for advice. Pleasant and kind-hearted, mediators don't like conflict, drama, or workplace politics. Instead, they try to act in ways that foster harmony and cooperation. When someone needs help, mediators tend to pitch in without any expectation of praise or recognition. One of the mediators' great contributions as colleagues is their empathetic communication style. These personalities speak in a way that's honest but kind, which can set a positive tone for the entire workplace. The managers. Among personality types, most likely act as if they're in charge. They respect their employees as full-fledged human beings, not just as workers. Rather than make all the decisions themselves, mediators often ask to hear their employees' thoughts and opinions. People with this personality type don't micromanage. Instead, they keep their eyes on the big picture. Yep, group projects in a nutshell. See it as a responsibility to support the employees, not to tell them exactly what to do and how to do it. Whenever possible, they encourage their people to work for them, to develop their own ideas, and use their own best judgment. There's a downside to management style. They struggle to set boundaries, drill down on inefficiencies, or offer criticism even when it's necessary. Slow down a team and create needless stress, both for mediators and for their employees. At times, those with this personality type may need to be strict for the good of their team and the workplace as a whole. That's very true. Few personality types. Okay, fair enough. You overcome challenges on obstacles like every personality type in the world. Yet mediators can be tripped up in ideas, for idealism and altruism are more of a liability than an asset. When it comes to finding or keeping a partner, making friends, pursuing a meaningful career, or planning for the future, people with this personality type may need to consciously develop their weaker habits, traits, and gather new skills, even as they draw on their many strengths. When you read so far, let's see, that's so accurate. Or finally, this is why is this like this? Why this is exactly so accurate? It's a little creepy. Or finally, someone understands me. How do they know more about me than the people I'm closest to do? It's not a trick. You feel understood because you were. We study what they think. Have a plan, a personal roadmap, vision for where you want to head and why. In this introduction, you learn how mediators tend to believe in certain circumstances and yada yada, key strengths and weaknesses. I don't care about this, okay? I'm good. Alright. I think that should do it, honestly. Let me see if my freaking thing even... There we go. I couldn't quite articulate that. Well enough. Yeah. Alright. I think that'll do it. I'll probably do it for tonight. See how things go. Yeah, that's weird actually. I don't think there we go. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I've got really nothing else to really say. Sorry I was a bit quiet there. I'm very self-conscious when my roommate's around. I guess I get really embarrassed if I say stuff like this out loud, because I just don't talk a lot. I talk to my roommate just fine, but I just need to get better at it. I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday night. It's probably Monday for you guys right now, so happy President's Day. Why I'm doing this so late is because I have no class tomorrow, so it's also why. Yeah. I wish you all a very good night. Sleep well. If you're still listening, yeah, thank you for listening to me just talking about my personality type and going through that mock Myers-Briggs test that isn't actually like the real thing. It's not the real Myers-Briggs test. It's just a test, fun little test I wanted to do this whole time. But yeah, no, I hope you guys have a good night, really.